the show with barefaced lies and well-masked truths. On Lee Mack's team tonight, an American comedian, actor and star of The Simpsons. One of the few people for whom having voices in his head is actually a good thing. It's Harry Shearer. And she presents the Great Pottery Throwdown, which I think is just smashing. It's Sarah Cox. And on David Mitchell's team tonight, a comedian who used to be a glass collector in a comedy club. It was a tough job, but he picked it up as he went along. It's Jason Manford. And the BBC's former chief political editor. In 1 year, he asked politicians a record number of questions, 5,000, and got a record number of answers, 7. It's Nick Robinson. So to round one, Home Truths, where our panellists each read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make things harder, they've never seen the card before, so they've no idea what they'll be faced with. It's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. And Jason is first up tonight.
OK. I once wet myself whilst babysitting a toddler.
Please, team.
When was this?
I reckon I was about 12 or 13.
It's quite young to be babysitting. 12.
Not in the north. A lot of people are parents by that.
I was going to say.
So whose baby was this then? Was it a neighbour's?
It was no, it was like a niece. I think.
Like a niece?
No, it was
was it a nephew?
No, it was a niece. No, a cousin. Well, it's hard to It's a niece.
Why didn't you go to the toilet?
Because so I heard like a voice upstairs.
Like a voice?
Like a voice, yeah.
Like a niece's voice?
Yeah. No, it was like a voice of a man, like of someone who shouldn't have been up there. Like it's like a voice that I didn't know. Yeah. And I just got scared. I thought it was a ghost.
So you heard this voice and you went to investigate?
It was on the baby monitor. So...
What did the voice say?
It said...
Wet yourself.
Go ahead.
It wasn't an instruction. It was just like a voice.
I'm in the toilet, it's occupied. So, what did the voice say?
Well, I can't remember the exact words, but...
You always forget what a ghost says.
Did he speak in English?
Yeah, it was English.
What kind of accent?
Like a northern accent. It wasn't going... Oh... It wasn't doing like a typical ghostly noise. It was just going...
Hey up!
And then did you go upstairs?
I went up and there was nothing there.
And did you ever get to the bottom of what this voice was?
Yeah, I think what had happened was the baby monitor had tuned into one of the neighbours' baby monitors. And I was just listening to someone 3 doors down.
When you realised that you'd had an accident because you were frightened...
Yeah.
Did you then make any attempt to sort of get changed or to dry...
No, I still...
Can I say, Sarah, it's a lovely line of inquiry, but can I just go a step further and ask the extent of the spillage? Because... Well, no. There's the full-on... There's the deluge. Then there's something that some of the more middle-aged men on the panel might be aware of, which is the sitting and... Oh, not again.
Rob, can I just say you're saying this out loud?
Was it age-related seepage, or did the levee break?
Are you hoping to become... Because there are many products for gentlemen of that age with that problem. Are you hoping to become the face of them?
Only if you're wearing a Brydon will you have real peace of mind.
Rhymes with Dryden.
Yeah, Dryden.
Stay Dryden in a Brydon.
There you go.
Dryden? Dried on.
Yeah.
With a Brydon. You'll be dried on.
It has, it's dried on.
It's dried on.
So you go up, you get to the niece's bedroom, you check on her.
Yeah.
When does the penny drop?
I went up, grabbed the child who was asleep in her cot.
Yeah.
I went out the front door and my...
You
actually ran out there?
Yeah, I did.
Screaming what?
I didn't scream, Lee.
What, you wet yourself?
Well...
Don't try and keep dignity with this story. I didn't scream, I just wet my pants.
So my auntie and uncle lived round the corner, so I just went round there.
And what did you say to them?
There's a ghost in the house, so I've got the baby.
And what did they say?
Have you wet your pants?
So what's your team thinking? Harry, does this strike you as the truth?
I'm still back at like a niece, like a nephew.
Yeah. It was unsettling, wasn't it?
A bit that got me off my feed right there.
So Harry thinks it's a lie, and Sarah says it's...
I kind of think it might be true.
Oh, split
Oh,
decisions,
dear.
I hate them. Who can persuade her the most?
I think Smithers could. Can we make him do a voice, please?
That's early.
Yeah.
Round one, person one. I thought at least have the dignity to wait till the second half. Is it truth or a lie? Never mind that, do Smithers.
I swear, all day.
OK, we'll go with Harry and say it's a lie.
Say it's a lie. OK, Jason, truth or lie?
It is true.
Go!
It's true. Jason did wet himself whilst babysitting a toddler. Sarah, you're next.
OK. I know how to properly wash a cow.
David's team.
How do you properly wash a cow?
With water and soap and determination.
Why do you have to wash a cow?
If they get dirty. Yeah, you need to wash a cow if you're gonna show your cow, like at a county show or something.
All right.
What sort of soap would you use for a cow? A typical soap, or was it a special agricultural soap?
Use fairy liquid.
Just the one brand, just fairy.
I mean, you could use a citrusy, lemony, fresh one.
I think that would make the milk taste lemony.
Yeah. But the steak would be lovely.
That's true. That's always...
Because everyone likes a bit of lemon on their steak, don't they?
Well, yes, Lee. You often marinate a snake.
Yeah, you certainly made me look an idiot there, Rob.
Watch this,
Messing
though.
with you again.
Yeah. Yes, Lee, because...
You said snake, can't do it again. And every time you say it, I'll shout snake.
So why did you have to wash a
You
cow?
marinate a steak in lemon.
Save it for tonight when you're in bed with your wife. I'm just marinating the snake.
Why did you have to wash a cow?
I washed the cow because my dad's a farmer. And so we would wash the cows and take them to the shows, to like, the county shows. No, he's a nice man.
What do you mean arable? I mean, they're cows. How can it be arable?
What does arable mean?
Arable is crops. Wheat.
Well, have you never heard of
animals?
Duh. Have you never heard of a farmer who has a little bit of arable and a little bit of pastoral?
Well, that would be mixed farming, not arable farming.
Which was going to be my third option.
What breed of cows were they?
They are the brown and white ones.
Don't get too technical.
They're called Herefords.
Oh.
What were their names, your cows?
Well, there's a long line of Dianas.
Diana's.
Diana the cow.
Diana
What
the
would you
cow.
mean by long line?
Well, Diana would have a daughter, and then that'd be another Diana.
And then
Oh,
the
okay.
initial Diana becomes steak Diana.
So, David, time to take a guess. What do you think?
Nick,
I'm suspicious.
you think it's a lie?
What a plausible lie.
I think it's a lie.
If you both think it's a lie,
I'm afraid so.
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to go lie.
You're going to say lie. OK, Sarah, truth or lie?
It's true.
Yes, it's true. Sarah does know how to wash a cow. Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest. It's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Claire. So, Nick, what is Claire to you?
Well, this is Claire. I was once so peckish that I broke into her cottage to steal a tube of Pringles.
Jason, how do you know Claire?
This is Claire. I once called her to drive my car from the roof of a multi-storey car park because I was too scared to.
Right. David, what is your relationship with Claire?
This is Claire, and she is my dentist, whose earring I swallowed mid-procedure.
Well, there we have it. Is Claire Nick's burgled buddy, Jason's multi-storey mate, or David's dozy dentist? Lee's team, where'd you start?
Jason, let's start with you. How old were you?
I was, like, 20.
Have you just started driving at this point?
Yeah, I just passed.
So you'd managed to get to the top?
Yeah.
Why did you find going down worse than going up?
It was a different way down than it was coming up. One of them, really tight spirals.
But it was a spiral going up, too, wasn't it?
No, it was up the ramp and then along the car park and then up the next ramp and along the car park, so...
Did you know Claire before?
Who is she? What's the
She's
relation?
a friend's mum.
Friend's mum?
Yeah.
Auntie, niece, all the whole thing.
Which friend?
Steve.
Oh, so Steve.
Sorry, Steve, your age?
Steve's my age, yeah.
And that...
I mean, you look about the same age.
That's the mum.
She's like 55.
I don't know.
No. I'll tell you what, Jason, if it's not your person and you're not telling the truth...
No, I know...
This is going to be a hell of a green room conversation.
No, she looks phenomenal for it, I'm just saying.
Keep going.
Why did you call Claire of all people?
Oh, where I parked was at the Arndale Centre in Manchester, and Claire works there.
What does Claire do? Where does she work?
Oh, I think it's one of the jewellers in...
Hang on a minute. How did you ring her?
Just on my phone.
On your mobile?
Yeah.
When you're
I'm not that
20
old.
years ago?
It wasn't 20. Come on now.
18 years ago?
See,
was
not nice, is it?
14 years ago.
14 years ago.
Jason is 34.
You're 34.
Yeah,
And-
that's not even a lie. That's true.
And you had...
Wow, have you had a really hard life?
Yeah.
And you had Claire's work number on your cell phone.
She had a mobile number as well.
So, sorry,
Like Steve's
you
mum's
had
number.
your mate's mum's number on your mobile?
Yes, I had my friend's mum's number.
What have you got it down as? Sweet Cheeks, Claire,
Steve's mum.
OK, who would you like to question next?
OK, Nick. So you broke into this lady's house for Pringles, did you say? You mean the crisp or the jumper?
So where did all this happen, Nick? Paint the picture for us. Where are we?
We're on holiday.
We're on holiday. Where?
People at home are now banging the TV.
Somebody hit pause.
Where were you?
I was in Italy.
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 Well, that's narrowed it down. Where in Italy were you?
I was in...
Pause.
I'll give you a clue. Could be Rome. Venice, Florence. That's just...
near Florence.
You were near Florence. How do you and Claire know each other?
She was also on holiday.
I want to know, did you know Claire before you went to Italy?
I did.
So you're near Florence. You've got... You've hired some cottages close to each other?
Exactly.
And what happens?
Well, I'm in my cottage, raiding the larder,
Yes.
looking for things to eat. I thought, I know what I need.
Right.
Crunchy nut
those-
cornflakes. Hey, Rob.
They are ludicrously tasty.
So how did you get into the cottage?
I sort of tried the... You know, you get blinds on a holiday cottage, those sort of shutters. That's the word I'm after.
Yeah.
So I tried the shutters, spotting that one was open. I thought, I tell you what, I could probably
So,
squeeze in
What time of day was this?
just before lunch.
so you got in
Why
through
didn't you wait
the
for lunch,
window.
then?
Nice work.
So the shutter is a little bit open, but isn't on the other side of a shutter a glass window?
Yeah, but it wasn't locked.
She's not security conscious, this
can
woman.
shimmy
I'm
in.
surprised she's working on a jewellery counter, to be honest with you. Oh, have I got these stories mixed up?
I think so.
How did you get out of the cottage?
I opened the door
You opened the door.
and I surreptitiously, hiding the Pringle tube down my shorts, I...
Oh, big head.
My wife said, are those curiously shaped, Chris? Are you just pleased to see me?
What was it?
Did you never...
Why didn't you go to the shop?
Because we're on a holiday. We were near a shop.
Why did you go on holiday at a place that's not near a shop?
That's not a prerequisite of a holiday, is it? Are there shops, though? That's what I need to know. Never mind the view.
What I'm hoping for is a Londis, a 2-minute walk.
And then did you tell Claire what happened, or are you telling her this now on the telly and she's finding it out for the very first time?
That would be a brilliant phone call. We'd like you to come along to see your old friend Nick. Why? There's something he wants to tell you.
When did she find out?
I think my children revealed the secret.
Wouldn't it have been easier to have one of them go through the window?
That is a very good point. Why did you do that, Fagin?
All right, now what about David?
David, can you just remind us again how you know Claire?
This is Claire, and she's my dentist.
Oh, yes.
Whose earring I accidentally swallowed mid-procedure.
OK.
What kind of earring was it?
It was just a stud.
What was the procedure?
It was a dental procedure. No, it was actually a cleaning.
Not polishing, a cleaning.
I won't clean my teeth myself.
So you pay her at a dentist's rate to do hygienist's work?
I want an expert. Yeah. I get a brain surgeon to clean behind my ears.
What made it suddenly just fall out?
Did you grab at her in terror?
No, I didn't. No,
I'm scared.
You make me seem so sexy. No, I think it was just simply gravity.
Something has to ruffle your ears.
Yes.
Oh, David, you didn't. Goodness sake, man. You can't blame it on the Novocaine. You knew what you were doing.
So you're laying back
in
the dentist chair or the hygienist chair.
Yes.
And she's leaning over you to use the cleaning apparatus.
Yeah.
It's hard to swallow even liquid when the hygienist is working in your mouth. How did you manage to swallow an earring?
Well, I didn't try to. It just went... And I felt just a slight...
So you didn't swallow at the time?
I felt nothing more than a sort of... No, I didn't go, ooh.
So you swallow the earring. Do you get the earring back and give it to Claire at your next appointment?
Yeah, that's a good question. Did it ever get back to Claire?
It did not. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared to do that.
Were you sat on the toilet at any point and there was a sort of definite clink noise as metal hit porcelain?
No, I think it must have been deeply embedded in...
When you...
Oh, God, give us a minute.
It must have come out, mid-log.
Yeah. You could have at least used it for a very unusual game and passed the parcel.
So you were having...
It's unusual, the adjective you want to use.
The right word. Unusual's probably not a strong enough word. Sorry, kids, the clown's cancelled. But in better news, David's brought his little thing to show. Stop the music. I don't even want the earring.
All right, well, we need an answer.
What do we think? Because they're all sounding unbelievable to me.
I tend to believe Jason.
Jason, you think he panicked getting out of the car park? Sarah, what do we think?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if Nick was being vague on purpose about where the cottage was. When they come to him outside of number 10, have you ever noticed some, crumbs of crisp just falling from his mouth at the last minute before he goes...
And in the background, a slightly opened window.
Yes.
What about David, though? I mean, you're not even...
Oh, we were actually entertaining that.
So, what are you going to say?
I say Jason.
You say Jason?
Oh, so I'm drawn towards Nick's story being true, but I don't know. I'm happy to go with the boss man here.
I think we might have to go with Jason.
You're going to say it's Jason. OK. Claire, would you please reveal your true identity?
My name is Claire, and Nick stole my Pringles.
Thank you very much, Claire. Which brings us to our final round, quick-fire lies. And we start with... It's Lee.
Possession.
Lee, if you step out from behind the desk, read the card first.
When I ran out of petrol with my kids in the car, the only way I could get to the nearest garage quickly was on this.
Pop that down
So where did you break down?
I broke down just after this round, crying. It was a country lane.
Whereabouts in the world?
It was just somewhere around Oxfordshire. You're from Oxfordshire, aren't you?
Yes.
Let's change that. It was somewhere just around Oxfordshire.
And this was in the car?
This was not in the car. This belonged to a farmer.
Belonged to a farmer?
The smallest, campest farmer you can imagine. So I run out of petrol, we're in the middle of nowhere, I pull over near the hedgerow bit.
Yeah.
And then I remember passing a petrol station back there.
How far? A mile? Half a mile?
About a mile and a half.
Mile and a half?
A mile and a half, and you didn't just think I'll walk a mile and a half.
No, it's not, it's 3 miles, isn't it? Because you've got to get back as well.
That's
Got
true.
you there, isn't he?
Yes. I have to say,
What
though,
with you all Oxbridge and everything, and him having no education, that's quite embarrassing.
but still, 3 miles, that's not that far.
3 miles is a long way when you've got children in the car crying.
Well, hold on then. If you did 3 miles on it, you can definitely do 4 yards. So let's have a look at you on the bike.
And then, let me finish the story. And I remember as I came back with a petrol canister, falling off and damaging my leg and vowing that day never, ever to ride one of these beasts again. Would you like me to demonstrate me riding the bike?
I think so.
I'll kill you for this.
Go round the back, round
Yes.
to the side of Sarah, you can do it from there.
OK, I'm not feeling as young as I used to be, so I may not be able to do a wheelie. Right.
Is it all coming back?
And you had the petrol can as well, of course.
That's it, keep going, keep going. Over the ramp, over the ramp.
I've got the petrol can! It's all right. Ow! I've gone over the... I've got the petrol can! I'm coming, kids! Kids, I'm coming! Stop crying! Tell your mother not to divorce me! I've got the can! Yes.
Just like that, yeah, great.
Now I can see it would have been a big help.
Can I make a comment? You're
Yeah.
very out of breath.
Yes,
and,
I am.
And you've done 1 lap of this. Now, you're telling us that you cycled 3 miles.
Yes.
Do you remember having a coronary arrest at the end of the journey?
I was a lot younger in those days.
Why? When was it?
This was just after Christmas.
Lee, what are you doing?
I'm thinking in a minute I'm going to go wheelie the bike to the edge.
They're saying in my ear it seems like a very bad idea. I say, let him have a go.
Oh, they're saying to you, this is a bad idea. How do you think I feel? What, you mean the day people have said, pretend that you stole a child's bike and went to a petrol station, and they're saying, I'm the one with the bad idea? Can I just say, Rob, come here. You with your little body. Come on.
Will you help me onto it?
Right, I'll sit here and do the easy bit. Right, I think I'm just going to make him cycle around for a while. I'm doing Rob Brydon.
Oh.
Fair play. Do you want me to help you onto the seat? Come on. Oh, jump!
Thank you. So, while Lee brings that huge bike back up, what are you thinking?
Stop me if you object, but I think we're going to say that it's a lie.
You're saying it's a lie? All right.
Yeah.
It is, in fact...
A lie!
Yes, it's a lie. Lee didn't ride a child's bike to a petrol station.
Stupid game!
Next. It's Harry.
At a White House drinks reception, I was asked to judge who could do the best Mr. Burns impression out of Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and Bono.
This is the best thing we've ever had.
What was the occasion?
They were honouring musicians. They have about 4 or 5 of these a year at the White House.
And why was there a Mr. Burns, a competition to sound like Mr. Burns at a musical event?
I was there, and I think they thought it would be a cute idea to have me, judge the thing, because people are always asking me to do these voices.
Do you generally say no when people ask?
No, I don't.
Good, do it. I mean, I'd rather not ride a miniature pink bike.
Yeah.
But, we all go with the cards we're dealt.
All right, so I will tell you about your riding the pink bike that you were excellent.
One word gets a round of applause. I cycle round twice and am mocked.
And were they like the finalists?
They were the finalists, yes.
What did they get to say?
Release the hounds. Excellent. And I think a couple more.
And who was the best?
I judged Barack Obama the best.
Very wise.
Yeah. It was his house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas Bono?
His Burns was a little too breathy, I thought.
Could you give us an approximation of Bono's Burns?
Release the hounds, something like that.
Or release the hounds, release the hounds, release the hounds. Something like that.
No, it wasn't like that.
No. And what about...
Tom Jones?
What about Claire? Release the hounds. And what about...
Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton.
Well, you got to release the hounds now.
I did not release those hounds. David, what are you thinking about
Nick,
that?
you know how the centres of power operate. Is this kind of a do? Where
Totally plausible.
It's plausible that they'd have
plausible.
a competition like that?
I think so.
They wouldn't...
Obama, Clinton, get on well.
Yeah, Bono's everywhere, isn't he?
Bono's
He's like,
there.
it's like Mickey Mouse, there's one in each continent.
I think he's telling the truth himself.
Yeah.
Well, I
You
think,
also true?
we can't imagine a party at the White
We
House,
can't
really.
imagine what
It's
that would
just,
be like.
But, that...
Well, I mean, you've been to Buckingham Palace, haven't you?
I've been to a buffet at Dale Winton's house. That's about That's as close as I've got. All right, what are you going to say?
I think we're saying it's true.
You're saying it's true? OK,
Yeah.
Harry Shearer, truth or lie?
Sir, you have to tell him now.
All right, I will.
Don't rush it, because I want to hear that again.
It was a lie.
Well, that noise signals time is up, and it's the end of the show, and I can reveal that David's team have won by 3 points to 2. Thanks for watching. Good night. Good evening and welcome to Would I Lie to You, the show that sorts the facts from the fibs. On Lee Mack's team tonight, an actor who's shot to fame as an Ewok. An Ewok is an alien being in the Star Wars films, and not, as I thought, an electronic cooking device. It's Warwick Davis. Not bad. And a comedian and actor whose father was a bishop, which meant growing up he was always on the move, diagonally. It's Hugh Dennis. And on David Mitchell's team tonight, he's the BBC's World Affairs editor who spent decades in the middle of mindless, stupid conflicts. So welcome home, it's John Simpson. And a comedian who once went on to a cookery show and made an omelette in 20 seconds. You've heard of death by chocolate. This was death by salmonella. It's Catherine Ryan. And so to round one, Home Truths, where our panellists each read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make things harder, they've never seen the card before, they've no idea what they'll be faced with, and it's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. Catherine, you're first up tonight.
OK. My motto is, never give a child a one-syllable name, because life has taught me that people with one-syllable names are generally dim.
Me and you. You're all right. So, do you mean your own children, or nobody should give their children one-syllable name?
It's just my motto. No one should do it.
Who do you base it on?
Anyone I've ever met.
Whoa. Say anybody you've ever met. Well, say what you're going to say first, and let's see where it goes. Anyone who you've ever met with one-syllable name?
Yes.
Keep going.
In my country.
Oh, here we go. well rescued.
I'm from Canada, and it started with boyfriends. I dated a Bob, I dated a Steve.
And
they
was
were
this,
both...
the 1970s? Sorry, Rob, that's a fine name, sorry. Bob, though, it's
Why
called...
is Bob a 70s name?
Because Bob's not really the name of it, because I'm guessing this was a few
It's
years
not quite
ago.
as now as Lee, I'll give you that. I mean, that doesn't smack of 1970s inner-city deprivation, does it? And I feel sorry for Dave in the middle there.
Yeah. Hey, what about John? John's a very bright fella. He's got one syllable.
I'm on this programme.
You have this attitude towards British people as well. You were just saying that, weren't you? You actually do believe that everyone with one-syllable name...
I just think that if you're expecting a child, you have a long time to consider it. You want to give that child a name that can transition them into any field of work in life.
Hugh, how do you feel about all this, being a one-syllable loser? Are you offended?
I'm not a one-syllable, because that is my middle name.
Mm-hmm.
My God, this is like EastEnders, isn't it?
My real name is Peter.
Why are you called Hugh, then? I've always called you
Because when
Hugh.
when you joined Equity... Did you ever join Equity?
Of course I did. How dare you?
Of course you did. So when you join Equity, you can't have two actors with the same name. And there was another Peter Dennis, and he was at that... I was, like, 23, and he was in his mid-60s. So my agent wrote to Equity and said, look, can our Peter Dennis be called Peter Dennis, because there's no chance of confusion with the other Peter Dennis who is about to retire, etc., etc. And they wrote back and said, yeah, under normal circumstances, that'd be absolutely fine, but you've got a problem, and the problem is that the other Peter Dennis is the chairman of the Equity Name Change Committee.
So you don't see yourself as a one-syllable name, really?
God, no.
No.
What's your partner's name?
My partner moved to Japan this morning, so...
What was his name?
I think we broke up.
Are you serious? You think you broke up this morning?
I think so, because he just moved to Japan.
You think so?
Wow. Lee, move on.
Move on. Did he have a one-syllable name?
No, his name's Alex.
Alex?
Yeah.
Lovely,
or,
Alex.
as you'll now call him, Al.
Or X.
Can I ask a question? So you live by this rule, but have you ever thought about the psychology? What's going on here?
I have thought it through. I think that dim parents just have dim children.
Can I just say, both my parents had one-syllable names. This is all starting to stack up.
So what do you think, Lee? Is she telling the truth, or has she made this all up?
Under normal circumstances, I would say she's just saying any old rubbish, but she's under a lot of stress at the moment because she broke up with someone, not like last week or a couple of... this morning. That's added a new little energy to the room, hasn't it?
Well, you know, if it is her main motto, and I'm sorry to hear that Alex has gone, but then he's got two syllables, so it doesn't really work, does it? Because obviously he is dim, leaving you.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
That was quite good.
Yeah, thank you.
So you think it's a lie?
Yeah, I tend to think that, yeah.
And you think...
I think it's a lie.
We better go lie, then.
You gonna say lie?
I hope it's a lie.
OK. Catherine, Was it the truth, or were you telling a lie?
It was a lie. I lied about it all.
Yes, it's a lie. Catherine doesn't go by the motto, never give a child a one-syllable name. Warwick, you're next.
A possession.
There'll be a box under your desk.
There is.
You, put the object that's in the box on the desk first and then read the card, please.
This is the bottle of hand gel I used to wash my hands before I handle my main bottle of hand gel.
David's team.
I think we can see the reasoning behind that. So explain your process.
In this day and age, you have to be very conscious of germs. And I meet a lot of people and have to shake their hands, and some of them, you know,
are diseased.
Potentially a bit unsavoury. So I will have a bottle of hand gel, cleanse my hands, then I can get the other bottle of hand gel now, the outside of which...
So the second bottle remains pure the whole time?
Very pure.
Yeah.
But if you take the bottle in the hand you didn't shake the person's hand with, so that hand is clean, all you need to do is just pour it on both hands, you'll have no problem.
Yeah, well, you make it sound so easy. I tell you how all this started, and I think there is some sort
It started when you picked up that box and opened it.
There is some sort of trauma that I've got, and it was from a time being in a gent's toilet. Don't. And what happened was, I have trouble reaching things in the toilets, you see, and one occasion I went...
What are you trying to reach for?
Well, no.
No wonder you need this stuff.
This is how it developed. I squirted some of this cream soap on, right, on the wall, okay? But it was only then I realised I couldn't reach the tap. From that moment on, I pack a couple of bottles of hand gel.
How soon after meeting us, we were all here about tea time today, weren't we? How soon after you came in with a lovely, great to see you again, everyone was shaking hands. How soon after that did you scurry away, reach into your pockets and furiously... What's the gap?
Well, it's just whenever I would get a quiet opportunity to...
I don't think this is the truth, because I've had several interactions with Warwick Davis, and I don't think that this is something I would have missed.
He certainly didn't do it immediately after.
If he does it, he's subtle.
You have to be, don't you? I mean, I can't be seen to be going, oh, hello. You know, because that's rude, isn't it, then?
And it's not just... hello, it's hello,
But you know how you can do it. You know, if I'm sitting at a table and I meet somebody, I can do it down here.
That's worse. That's definitely worse.
OK, it's time to take a guess. What are you going to say?
It's a lie.
It's a lie?
Lie.
It's a lie. It's a lie.
Saying it's a lie. Warwick, was it the truth or was it a lie?
It was a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. That isn't the hand gel that Warwick uses before his main bottle of hand gel. John, you're next.
OK. I once crawled through passport control on my hands and knees because I'd forgotten to pack my passport.
Lee's team.
Where was this?
Brussels.
On the way in or on the way out?
On the way out.
It's horrible when Brussels are on the way out.
So when did you start the crawl?
There was a passport official sitting there at this high desk reading an adult magazine.
Oh, well, hang on, stop. Stop! Let's get that image first of all. The man is at passport control and he's reading a girly magazine. First of all, why does he think he's allowed to do this and get away with it?
It was 9:30 at night. I suppose he thought he'd had the last passenger through. He...
You honestly want to believe that everyone's going through and he's...
When did you realise you didn't have your passport?
When I saw the desk, because I put my hand in my pocket and I realised I'd left it in my wife's car when she dropped me off at the airport.
And how far would you say approximately the crawl was?
Shall I show you?
Please do, yes.
Yeah, okay.
That would be better.
Right, OK. Now, and also I get to look at all the... OK. So he couldn't see me from behind.
Right.
OK?
That was the title of the magazine, was it?
I see he's looking at the magazine. I see he's not looking at me.
OK, so then you...
So I got up, and about here, I got down on my knees, and I crawled along here in front of him. A seat with the desk was much higher, OK? Much higher. It was about like that. I think, actually, Rob, in your case, you better stand on the chair. And...
I would not put up with that. I would not put up with that.
I don't mind it from him, but from an educated man like you.
And so here...
hello. No, Rob. Don't stand on the desk, you
No, the desk is made out of papier-mâché.
It's quite heroic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Magnificent. OK. OK, the desk is up to there, and I came along like this, only on my hands and knees.
Yeah, go on. Keep
and
going,
then I carried on a bit, and then I ran like the clappers.
Just stay on, stay there a minute. Just in case I ever forget my passport.
Getting down, Rob, or you're
all
right?
right.
Okay.
So, what are you thinking?
It's pretty ridiculous, isn't it?
Actually, I think it's true. I'm going to go with true. Yeah.
So Warwick says it's a lie. Hugh says it's true. I will say it's true.
OK, John. Truth or lie?
Well, it's in fact completely true.
Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of Lee's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest. And it's up to David's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Michael. So, Hugh, what is Michael to you?
This is Michael. He once tried to sell the remains of my lunch for £100.
Warwick, how do you know Michael?
This is my neighbour Michael, and I first met him when his shot put came over my garden fence.
Finally, Lee, what's your relationship with Michael?
This is Michael, and last summer I threw his phone in a boating lake.
So there we have it. Is Michael Hugh's snack seller, Warwick's shot-put slinger, or Lee's phoneless friend? David's team, where do you want to start?
Well, shall we start with Hugh? What was this lunch, and where were you having it?
It was in the cafe in Cornwall.
Oh, right.
That Michael used to run. And I had, I had a sandwich, I think. Now, I knew nothing about this selling of my lunch until much later. Well, I was told by a friend that, in fact, what had happened was that Michael had set up this thing in the cafe called the Museum of Celebrity Leftovers.
Sounds like the name of this show.
As far as I remember, it was a sort of little jar with the leftover of the particular person. Sort of like a specimen bottle.
It wasn't like a proper leftover. It was just essentially crumbs.
It was crumbs, then put into a glass. It wasn't just me, it was various celebrities.
Who are the other celebrities that featured?
Jan Leeming.
I'll tell you what, at the moment, you are the best.
Yeah.
Michael Winner, I think, was there.
Oh, right.
And Prince Charles.
Prince Charles.
Do you know what Prince Charles had left?
I think it was bread and butter pudding.
How much did it go for in the end?
I don't know.
Surely you know how much your own memorabilia...
The only bit of memorabilia I do know about is on eBay, my autograph, £1.35.
On a £5 note, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Who would you like to ask next?
So, Warwick, Michael is your next-door neighbour.
Yes.
What does Michael do for a living that he can afford to live next to you?
He's a very successful businessman.
And so the shot put is just a hobby for him?
Well, it was something he used to do in his younger days. He was in the army and they used to have a sort of sporting event and the shot put was his particular speciality.
So, yeah, describe the incident.
OK, I've got quite a large garden. I was having a walk round. I was on a 2-day expedition. And I just heard I heard this sort of thudding sound, and you could almost feel the ground sort of vibrate a little bit. And I thought, what on earth was that? And looked around, and behind me was what I thought at the time was a cannonball. Made a big divot in my lawn.
You thought you were under fire from a medieval army?
Yeah, well, I didn't know what had happened. And your instinct is to look up, you know. I don't know what I was expecting to see, but I looked around and I heard this little voice, so, sorry, and looked towards the fence, and Michael looking over.
If you'd have had any sense, you'd have got it next to your head, lay down like that. Where there's blame, there's a claim.
May I approach Michael?
You may approach Michael.
OK, so, like, one of my many talents is that I can spot wealth in a man.
And yet, when I do this to women...
So, do you, from your inspection, Catherine, do you think that Michael is sufficiently affluent to live next door to Warwick?
Where do you think Warwick lives? In Graceland or something? He's been in a few films, with no disrespect. I doubt it's like Simon Cowell's house. What about Lee?
Lee.
Yes.
You threw Michael's phone in a lake.
See? He agrees. It's true.
Why did you throw his phone in a lake?
Because I was trying to give him his phone back.
And he was in a boat?
No.
On the lake?
I was in the boat.
Do you know Michael?
No.
How did you know it was his phone?
Because he was shouting at me from the bank. Not the bank. I don't mean he was drawing money out. I mean the side.
He was saying, throw me my phone
he was saying,
across the water to somebody he'd never seen before and who's
he didn't
throwing quantities he didn't know.
This is what I heard at the time. Excuse me. Oh, boat. What? He said, I think in your boat. It's like, you're miles away. And he said, my telephone in your boat. And I thought it's an unusual way to talk, because I was shaking his hand at the time. Eventually, I work out he's saying, my phone is in your boat. So I sort of look around, and sure enough, under my seat was a phone.
But why didn't he just wait until you reached the shore?
Which is what he wanted to do, what had happened. But I, being a bit more confident in my throwing abilities than I should be, thought, well, I'll go, I'll row towards him a bit. And I went like that, and I just did the worst throw I've ever done. And it just went straight into the water.
Do you know Michael's surname?
I don't know.
How did you get onto him to invite him onto the programme?
Oh, I think you'll find that I don't deal with the admin.
But it seems to me not absolutely impossible that the admin people would have said, that's an interesting story.
Yes.
Lee, what's Michael's other name so that we can get
Well, you haven't heard the rest of the story, have you? Because I felt guilty, and so I decided to buy him a new phone. And so I said, give me a number, because obviously, his home number, and I will phone you when I've got the other phone for you, and I'll deliver it. So when the people working on this show heard the story and said, Cool, blimey, that's quite fascinating. I don't suppose you know his surname, do you? I said, I don't, but I've got his number right here. I said, great, chuck it over. Well, I threw it. It went straight out the window, landed in a puddle.
We need an answer. So, David's team, is Michael Hugh's snack seller, Warwick's shot put slinger, or Lee's phoneless friend?
Well, Hugh's story, I don't think Hugh was even trying to make his story that believable. And so there's a chance that it's a fiendish double bluff, and that means it's true.
I love the idea of a celebrity leftover museum.
But it sounds... What, do you?
I mean, I've been to Cornwall, and it sounds like it could be quite an attraction.
Warwick's story, that could be true. Michael, he looks like a shot putter.
I mean, he wouldn't put it over somebody else's fence, would he?
So what are you saying? You think it's Lee?
Catherine, which way are you leaning?
I feel like the shot put story is real, and that is because Warwick looked up to Michael a lot. I feel like they have a certain intimacy.
Then again, it could be on the boating lake, the phone mishap.
It is.
I feel like a more likely admin story as to why Michael is here after Lee throwing his phone off the boat is perhaps Michael got on social media and was like, Lee Mack threw my phone into a lake, and the show reached out that way.
I don't want to stereotype, but to me, Michael looks more like someone who threw a shot put in the army a few years ago than someone who's massive on social media.
So what's it going to be?
We're going to go with Warwick.
OK, Michael, would you please reveal your true identity?
My name is Michael, and I did try to sell the remains of the lunch.
Thank you very much, Michael. Which brings us to our final round, quickfire lies, and we start with... It's David.
Last summer, I lost a tennis match when a bee buzzed up the leg of my shorts at a crucial moment.
Please, team.
Right.
What was the crucial moment?
Match point.
What was the score at that point in sets?
I'll be honest, we only played one set.
And what was the score in games at that point?
At that point?
Yes.
The score in games.
I think you know what I'm asking you, David.
Was
All right.
5-4.
To you.
3, 2, 1, I'm going to tell you. It was 5-4.
To you.
No, I lost.
Oh, I see, a crucial point.
Right, so, did this bee sting you, or did he come in, have a quick shufty and exit?
A shufty and exit.
Well, did he exit out the other leg?
Or was anything blocking his passage?
Do you play regularly?
I don't really know. I used to play more regularly, but
What standard would you say you are? If 0 is someone that's never played in ever, and 10 is Boris Becker, what are you?
What's 1?
Tim Henman.
Well, in this case, I'm probably a 0.3.
Would you give us a demonstration of your serve technique?
Oh, yes.
It'd be lovely, I think, for Lee and his team. If they had an idea, they look at this serve, they say, well, there's a guy who wouldn't be bamboozled by a bumble, or maybe he would.
I have to say, I think this is totally pointless. I'll do it. Shall we say...
who joins in with the fun.
I'm so sorry. This is just a waste of your time. This is it. This is the racket in my right hand.
David, why don't?
I'm so sorry. Rob. OK, caught it.
You're not going to fire it at me, are you?
I'll
aim it over there.
I'll zing it down that way.
Please do, yeah.
OK? You don't believe I serve like that?
No. I want to see your feet off the ground and put something... I want to see you grunting.
Oh, hang on, wait a minute. What a ball, have you?
You went over there. All right, ready?
Right, go on then.
I'm going to grunt.
Go for it.
I'm going to put my back into this.
Go on then.
I'm going to show I want it.
You're doing that with your hands, you're trying to get rid of the bees.
I'm bouncing the ball.
That's how you congratulating a small child. Well done, son. You did very well.
OK, and...
That was lovely, thank you. That was lovely. That was more than we could ever have hoped. What do you think?
He doesn't look like a tennis player.
He probably has picked up a tennis racket. I don't think he's claiming to be at county level.
He doesn't look like he would be at any level.
No, but he... I think that's a lie. You think it's a lie?
Yeah.
Rick?
I think it's a lie, because he would... Maybe a bee flew up his shorts when he was having ice cream, but he definitely...
That's the most belittling thing I've ever heard on this show. OK, we're saying it's a lie.
OK, David. Was that the truth, or was it a lie?
It was a lie.
That noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show, and I can reveal that Lee's team have won by 4 points to 1. Thanks for watching. Good night.